It's Rockin' with Rockin Robbie. And here's your host, Rockin Robbie.
Hey everybody, welcome to the HuntsvilleAttic. That's right, it's time for Rockin' with Rockin Robbie. I am your host, Rockin Robbie, and I am pleased, ladies and gentlemen, to say, due to popular demand, tonight's episode will be all about the Benjamins Part 2!
Numero dos.
There's two of them, like titties, right? All about the Benjamins Part 2. That's right, another episode
I would have said like legs or eyes.
about the Benjamins. So thank you. I want to thank Flux Capacitor Overdrive for the theme song, as usual. And now let me get to the introductions. Ladies and gentlemen, with me,
Did you seriously just say that?
as always, Maniacal Mike. Yeah, he's
I
crazy.
got
Don't trust him.
late winter cold, so if I breathe heavy into the mic, I'm sorry. I'm sick.
And right next to him, the return of Jackass James.
Yeah, I'm here. Woo! I don't need your pity.
Also joining us in the HuntsvilleAttic tonight, Bodacious Brooks. Yeah!
As Robbie
And-
hits himself in the face with a mic.
A return once again to HuntsvilleAttic with Justify Justice.
Thank you very much.
Justified.
It's good to be back.
And as is our custom here in HuntsvilleAttic, it's time for the opening shot. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, the redheaded slut. Everybody, good show. Have a good one.
Clink.
Clink.
I thought you didn't like redheads, Robbie.
They're all right. I've been watching Doctor Who season 5 and 6, so I like redheads. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. Well, if anybody remembers all about the Benjamins Part 1, you know how it's going to go tonight. If you don't, I suggest that you listen to that first. It's time for the return of the Been a Minute! Been a Minute!
Yeah,
Been a Minute! Been a Minute! And right now, President Benjamin Harrison, by myself, Rockin Robbie. Everybody,
he's first.
everybody familiar with Benjamin Harrison?
Yes.
Benjamin Harrison, of course, was the 23rd president of the United States. He was the grandson of the 9th president of the United States, William Henry Harrison. He was born August 20th, 1833, in North Bend, Ohio. Ohio. At the age of 21, he moved to Indiana. There he got into politics.
Is that Bendiana?
Bendiana.
Did
Then,
he move to South Bend?
during the Civil War, he served with the Union as a brigadier general. Afterwards, he became a governor of Indiana and eventually a senator of Indiana. In 1888, he was the Republican nominee for the presidential race against the Democratic incumbent, Grover Cleveland. And he defeated Grover Cleveland. His administration is mostly known for the McKinley Tariff Act.
Is Grover Cleveland in relation to Grover the Muppet?
I'm pretty sure he is.
I don't think so.
No, I think I read that.
Great uncle.
That is very interesting, actually. The McKinley Tariff Act, of course, was designed to protect domestic industries from foreign competition by raising tariffs 50% on imports, I
Yeah,
believe.
dude, those things don't work, man.
It was a very, very bad thing. People didn't like it. The Sherman Antitrust Act was the first federal statute to limit cartels and monopolies. That was passed
that
during
was
his
successful.
administration. Well, but it was a very grand gesture, at least, right? Government's filled with grand
a
gestures,
gesture.
I would say. However, he was mostly known for presiding over the $1 billion Congress. That's right. Under his administration, federal spending reached $1 billion for the first time. Therefore, due to the unpopularity of the Tariff Act, as well as the increased federal spending by a Republican, by the way, he was easily defeated by Grover Cleveland in the election
Wait.
in
He beat Grover
1892.
Cleveland, Grover Cleveland beat him.
Absolutely. You get beat by the guy that you beat. It's got to be a low blow.
They were beating each other?
Yeah, he pretty much just kind of chilled out for the rest of his life, eventually dying March 13th, 1901 from influenza. And that is our 23rd president. One-termer. Mr. Benjamin Harrison, everybody.
Woo.
Yes,
Yeah, Ben
Benjamin
Harrison.
Harrison. All right. First topic of the night. You guys like Ben Affleck?
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Nah, he's all right.
Oh, I love some Ben Affleck. What are some of our...
He's, kind of...
He was the bomb in Phantoms, yo.
Well, since you're wanting to speak, Maniacal Mike, he was the bomb in Phantoms from the Kevin Smith movie. We always talk about that. Was that Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back from that line? Phantoms. There are some people that like that movie, some people don't. Maniacal Mike, what is your favorite Ben Affleck movie?
Sum of All Fears.
Oh, the reboot of the Jack Ryan franchise with him and
Yes.
Morgan Freeman.
Yes.
I
It was very good.
like that movie. I really do.
I was just kind of mad that they haven't done anything with it since. It's like the Jack Ryan character's a really good character, and it's more of a younger version than the Harrison Ford. You know, if they're going to do another Jack Ryan, when he becomes president, you go Harrison Ford. But if you want another action one, just go Ben Affleck again.
I get what you're saying. Our buddy, friend of the show, Drew Madsen, said Sum of All Fears was his favorite Ben Affleck movie with Ben Affleck as an actor. Jackass James, what you got for me? Favorite Ben Affleck movie?
Good Will Hunting. I don't know.
Good
He's
Will
just like a
Hunting.
very small character, but that's kind of why it's good.
He won an Oscar for co-writing that movie with collaborator Matt Damon, of course. Our buddy David Gillespie loves Good Will Hunting. He said that was his favorite. Also, our buddy John
I mean, there's
Holshoe.
apples.
Yeah, John Holshoe said Good Will Hunting was one of his favorites as well. It's also one of my favorites. It's really good. Robin Williams won the Oscar in that movie.
Yeah, has some really cool lines. You know.
Bodacious Brooks, what's your favorite Ben Affleck movie?
It'd be Dazed and Confused.
Dazed and Confused. Right now, John Holshoe and Chris Wallace agrees with you, as do I. It's not quite a starring role, but it's a great role for Ben
Yeah,
Affleck. I love his paddles as Fog Q.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Well, I mean, he wasn't a major character in that, but in that movie, really, you know, there's so many characters that, you know.
It's an ensemble.
Yeah.
I think Ben Affleck's best in an ensemble.
And he really played the character well. I mean, he played the high school asshole to a T. And I've known guys like that, too.
Yeah.
It makes it all the more real, you know. Yeah, and it was a great movie, too, you know.
It was. Justify Justin.
It had a killer soundtrack.
Testify. What's your favorite Ben Affleck movie?
I gotta say, my favorite Ben Affleck movie, Dogma.
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 We got a lot of people that agree with you.
Loki.
Yeah. I'm
AJ
sure.
Gordon, our buddy Tad, they both agree with you. I love Dogma. Dogma's a great movie. Lots of Kevin Smith movies,
Yeah.
right? And he's always good in a Kevin Smith movie. Why do you like Dogma, and in particular him in Dogma?
Well, I just love the way they portray the angels, basically, kind of like the same way they do in Supernatural. Do you guys watch that?
James does.
I watch it all the time.
Fantastic. I just love that
Goddamn
idea
fantastic show.
that they're up there and they know what's going on, but they're just working stiffs like everybody else.
Speaking of Kevin Smith movies, my favorite Ben Affleck movie is Chasing Amy. I absolutely love Chasing Amy. I also love Good Will
Finger
Hunting.
cuffs.
I love Dogma. Chasing Amy's great. I think
I thought you were gonna pick Shakespeare in Love.
I love Shakespeare in Love. Shakespeare in Love's a great movie. In fact, Ben Affleck's been in a lot of good movies. He's been in some duds, but he's been in a lot of good ones. To me, though, his best performance as a lead actor is definitely Chasing Amy. That's a true love story with heart into it. We asked some people on our Facebook what their favorite Ben Affleck movies. Here are some of our responses. Infamous Mike Finley, Dogma, or Armageddon.
Don't
Yes,
wanna miss
Armageddon.
Armageddon.
John Holshoe already said Good Will Hunting and Dazed and Confused. He also said he loved The Town. Our buddy Cam said Mallrats. Jamie Ford said Phantoms. That might have been a joke, but he did say Daredevil. It's underestimated. Drew Maston also said...
Daredevil, seriously, that movie's horrible.
Drew Maston said The Town.
Terrible. Town's good.
Is
Daredevil's
his favorite
terrible.
with him as a director. Sarah Nelson said 200 cigarettes, along with the quote. The quote. Everybody want some quote? Along with
classic.
the quote, how do you like your eggs in the morning? Scrambled? Fertilized. 200 cigarettes. Great movie. Elvis Costello's in that movie. I wonder
Which
if Kevin,
one?
I wonder if Kevin is.
I mean, I think there's like lots of movies about cigarettes.
Nathan Solly said Smoking Aces because he dies very quickly. Jeremy Days says Mallrats. Lane Fox says Jersey Girl. No, wait. Chasing Amy. Also, Dave Gillespie says Reindeer Games, but not because of Ben Affleck. Now, Ben Affleck gets a lot of crap. First of all, let's talk about this. Daredevil. Is Daredevil a good movie or a bad movie? Bodacious Brooks.
I think it was a bad movie.
A bad movie.
Yeah.
All right. Jackass James.
It's a piece of shit. It has no score. I mean, what the fuck's with that?
It has hardly any score.
And then when it does have music, it has bad hip-hop music for the Kingpin.
Or
Evanescence.
Evanescence.
The Kingpin would be listening
Now,
to classical.
No,
he would
I
have
do believe the
classics music.
Kingpin would get down on some NERD. I'm sorry, right? You're getting pumped up. Your arch
No,
nemesis
dude.
is coming back.
Yeah,
I think
pretty
Michael
sure.
Clark Duncan as Kingpin
Yeah,
is
I
great in
thought
the
he was
movie.
a good
I think Colin Farrell
But
is
I think
Bullseye.
that's what I'm saying. The stereotypical hip hop music just because he was black. I hated that.
Maniacal Mike, what do you think about Daredevil?
Well, to answer James's question, yeah, I don't think the Kingpin would listen to DMX. It's a little too stereotypical at the time.
But he was listening to NERD. That's got some class, right?
So
All right, but they were trying to appeal to a market. It's Fox, and
it was.
thank
shitty.
God they didn't do that with
It
the
was
X-Men
shitty,
movies.
shitty,
Justify
shitty.
Justin, Daredevil.
Whoa.
I
Let
feel
me,
the same
Everybody's
way.
against it. What?
do you want to know why I said it was shitty?
Why?
Because Matt Murdock would never fight in public,
Absolutely.
especially in front of kids.
I think the problem with the movie all rests in the character of Elektra. I don't think they translated her very well. I think they got a bad actress to play her. I don't think some of the story points with her were very strong at
Well,
all,
hey, that's-
including that scene.
Well, that's how Ben Affleck meets his wife.
Justify Justin, what do you think?
I think it was horrible, and I can say that in confidence because usually when I watch a movie and it's horrible, I don't remember anything about it, and that's what happened.
All right. Fair enough. Moving on.
You know what I like when FX shows Daredevil on TV? You know the best part of it is?
What?
The commercials.
Ben Affleck, of course, was born in California, August 15th, 1972. He was raised, though, in Cambridge, Massachusetts. That's where he got his Bast and shit from. There are a lot of good Ben Affleck movies. We talked about a lot already. Some that we haven't mentioned. Glory Days. Boiler Room. He was in there slightly. Bounce. Joseph, King of Dreams. He was the voice of Yosef, as we would say. Pearl Harbor. Jay and Silent Bob. Daredevil, of course. Geely. Paycheck. Jersey Girl. Surviving Christmas. The Town. Argo. Ben Affleck has a lot of flack as an actor for being a bad actor. So let's talk about some of our worst
What was the one he did with Sandra Bullock?
Forces of Nature.
Yes.
What are some of the worst? Speaking of Forces of Nature, what are some of the worst Ben Affleck movies? I will start off and say Pearl Harbor. Atrocious movie with Ben Affleck as the lead. Moving on.
Reindeer Games.
Jackass James. Is that your answer?
Yeah, that movie is horrible. I mean,
Reindeer Games.
It's an action movie. It shouldn't, even if a horrible action movie isn't always that horrible, but that one somehow, yeah.
Yeah. Mike, do you like Reindeer Games? I know you're a big fan of Charlize Theron.
Fuck Reindeer Games. Fuck Reindeer Games, man.
What is your worst maniacal
Forces
mind?
of Nature.
What?
I don't like Forces of Nature.
Forces of Nature. The Sandra Bullock romantic.
You already
comedy.
took the top one and top two worst Ben Affleck movies, so I got to come.
Some would agree there are worse. Justify Justin, what is your worst Ben Affleck movie?
I'm just gonna keep pounding this in there. How bad Daredevil was.
Daredevil.
I
Bad
yeah,
to you.
It's just bad.
Do you like Colin Farrell in that movie?
I don't remember. I told you it's so bad. I just cannot remember that movie.
You should watch the director's cut. Now, I will say the director's cut of that movie is a lot better than the theatrical cut. That is true.
Well,
Plus, Coolio's in it.
I'll watch it again.
All right, then. Bodacious Brooks, what's the worst Ben Affleck movie?
Oh, honestly, I can't think of anything worse than Daredevil. But to be fair, there are a lot of Ben Affleck movies that I know about, but haven't seen.
That you knew were bad, you didn't go into it.
Yeah,
See, I never saw Geely or Jersey Girl, so I can't say if those are good or bad.
Well, we asked people on Facebook once again and in person what were their, to them, the worst Ben Affleck movies. And speaking of what you just said, our buddy Gillespie, once again, said Armageddon, but only because he has not seen Forces of Nature, Bounce, Surviving Christmas, Paycheck, or Changing Lanes. Changing Lanes is terrible. I've seen that one. I've seen Bounce, too. It's very bad. Very
Changing
bad.
Lanes was okay.
Tyler
You got
Reynolds
Sam
agrees
Jackson.
with you, Justin. He says Daredevil is absolutely terrible. Andy Roten says Reindeer Games. Agrees with you guys. Finley says Phantoms. So he loves Armageddon, but hates Phantoms.
Finley has terrible taste in music. You should
My
know
sister
that.
Debbie said that one
Movies.
with Jennifer Lopez, which could go two ways. But right below her was AJ Gordon saying Geely. So Geely is considered one of the worst movies ever made. Period.
Yeah.
So there you go, right? Drew Matson agrees with me. Pearl Harbor. Our buddy Jelani, big hater. Jelani is, in case we didn't know, right?
He doesn't like
He drinks the
anything.
Gatorade.
You know, gangsta, right? He said, all are the worst Ben Affleck movies, except for Good Will Hunting, but that movie would be a lot better without him in it. So there's Hayden Jelani. Chris Wallace, Surviving Christmas, and Jamie Ford said, I hate to say it because I'm a Smith whore, but Jersey Girl. Gone Baby Gone was the first movie he directed. I love that movie. Has anybody ever seen that movie?
I haven't seen any of the movies. he's
Yes, I
directed,
have.
actually, I don't think.
Morgan Freeman, Ed Harris. Dude, that movie has an ending that will make you will be talking about that for years.
His little brother does a phenomenal job in that movie.
Casey Affleck. Can't talk about Ben without Casey, right? Well, it's been a minute. So now it's time for another Ben a Minute.
I would say it's been a couple.
Ben a
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, our second Ben a Minute tonight will be about Big Ben by Jackass James.
I got a question, Robbie.
Yes, sir.
Everybody else seems to get important characters and important people. I got a bell.
Well, bells are very important too. More important than people
They
because
make loud noise.
Yeah, and they outlast people.
That's
they
how
they,
Spider-Man beat Venom.
Yeah.
And they're louder
exactly.
than Robbie.
That's how Spider-Man beat Venom.
With a bell. Just a bell?
With a bell.
No, this was a...
There are songs.
Super bell.
There are ballads written about bells. Jingle bells,
Silver bell.
sleigh bells, silver
Yeah, they're all
bells.
Carol
Christmas
of the
songs.
Bells.
Good work.
For whom
Well-
the bell tolls.
A lot of people think it's the clock, not the bell. Tell us about it.
So yeah, it is actually the bell in the tower there, which is now called the Elizabeth Tower, renamed in 2012, I do believe. Before that, it was just known as the tower.
Interesting.
Yeah, and as you said, the bell is what's actually called Big Ben. It is the largest bell in there. It was originally designed in 1834 after part of the palace that burned down, which is the Palace of Westminster. And the great bell is in the north end of that building. It's brick and iron, 150 years old.
That's an old bell. Old Big Ben, everybody.
When you say an old bell, it sounds like a dog.
Old
Like
bell.
a,
Old bell got hit by a pickup truck.
I think it's like
Reminds me
a
of Bell and Sebastian, that old cartoon show from the 80s.
cow, maybe.
So what is the superior bell, the Liberty Bell or Big Ben?
Oh, Liberty Bell, dude.
Big Ben, motherfucker, it's been around long.
Well, the Liberty Bell's cracked,
Yeah, but
so
the Liberty Bell's American.
Has the
Exactly.
Liberty Bell been
Which
not
makes
been
it
around
better.
longer than 150 years? America's over 200 years old.
Yeah. Our bell is kind of better.
Yeah,
More
our bell's
important.
the shit.
It's older, but it's broke, right?
It's called
Yeah,
the
it's
Liberty Bell.
Dude, it's because we rocked it so hard.
oh, that's true.
Well, Big Ben and the tower, the Elizabeth Tower, a very iconic image in London. In fact, you can't think of London without thinking about Big Ben and Elizabeth Tower or the giant fucking Ferris wheel, right?
Correct.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, Jackass James.
The Beatles.
Yeah, you're
Let's give him a round of applause.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's nice, Jackass.
Fuck off.
I love
All right,
you.
that of course brings us to the question of the day. Today's question day is this. We were talking about Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck was in Daredevil. We chatted about Daredevil because of that movie. There was an action figure made of Ben Affleck. There was also action figures made of some of his characters, Kevin Smith movies. If there was an action figure of you, and it had one phrase programmed into it to say at the touch of a button, what would that phrase be? We'll be right back here on Rockin' with Rockin Robbie, all about the Benjamins, part 2. After this message from Corn Bits, he's got the Corn Bits. Very impressive, Justin.
Showing off, man.
Could have kept going, but I was laughing.
He's got the corn bits, yeah.
He's got the corn bits, yeah.
He's got the corn bits, yeah.
Getting the corn bits.
He's got the corn bits, yeah.
He got the corn bits, yeah.
He's got the corn bits, yeah.
We're getting the corn bits.
He's got the corn bits, yeah.
Who couldn't use more corn in their diet? Try our crisp and refreshing cereal, Corn Bits. They taste delicious and they're fun to play with.
everybody. Welcome back to Rockin' with Rockin Robbie. I am your host, Rockin Robbie. With me here tonight is Jackass James.
Yeah.
Maniacal Mike.
You have a donkey brain.
Justified Justin.
Greetings, Robbie.
And Bodacious Brooks.
Yeah.
Thank you all for being here. It is all about the Benjamins, part 2. And as is our custom, time to start the second segment with the second shot. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the redheaded slut. So everybody get ready. Let's roll it down.
Yeah.
You sure?
That's so delicious. The last All About the Benjamins, if anybody remembers, was the night of the whiskey nipple and the whisker nipple and the twister whisker or whatever. That crazy
Husker
night.
do's, Husker don'ts.
Husker do's, Husker
Husker
don'ts.
Willow Birds.
Well, when we last were talking to you, audience, we asked the question of the day. Question of the day was, if you were an action figure, if there was an action figure made of you, like we are actually thinking about making Smiler Else and Rockin' Robbie action figures. Wouldn't that be crazy? Looking into it. If you were an action figure, what pre-programmed phrase would you say? Justified, Justin.
It would probably be 2 phrases. It would either be, don't worry, I got this, or no, it's fine. Because whenever stuff goes wrong, that's usually what I'm saying.
All right, nice. Jackass James.
Seriously.
Yeah, I agree. Bodacious Brooks, what would you say?
Probably, you're dumb.
Either that or, is that a real thing?
Yeah.
Maniacal Mike, what would your action figure say?
I know a guy.
I know a guy.
I think it would be, you'd know him if you see him.
You know, from downtown.
No, but that was one of my earlier ones. Is somebody be like, right, you two, Robbie and him should be talking about. Oh yeah, I know a guy that can get that.
Yeah, I have 2 famous quotes from my time in Honda, just involving my typical personality. So I think they would be good to pick. But the one especially is, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but you're wrong. All right, so let's moving on. Talking about Benjamins, and it has been a minute.
Oh,
so it's time for another Been a Minute. Been a Minute.
Been a minute.
And right now,
Been a minute.
Ben Chang by Bodacious Brooks. Bodacious Brooks, take it away.
Ben Chang. Well, for those of you who don't know, Ben Chang is a character on a long-running comedy called Community. Character played by Mr. Ken Jeong. He's probably most famous for his character in The Hangover. Ben Chang in season 1 of Community is a community college teacher, not professor, but he's a teacher of Spanish, so they call him Senor Chang. And it's obvious that the man's completely crazy, but throughout the first season, he is a Spanish teacher, and he makes life hard for the study group. And but at the end of the first season, they realize that he has conned his way into this job. He has no teaching experience or credentials, so the dean has to fire him, and he becomes a student. And in the second season, he's a student. He's trying to get into the study group. He enters a poppin' lockathon and wins it.
A poppin' lockathon.
But they still don't let him into the group. And it drives him crazy. So he becomes crazier and crazier throughout season 2. Like, he plays in Dungeons and Dragons with them. And he gets killed off in like the first 2 minutes of the game. And then so in season 3, he gets a job as a security guard at the community college. And from there, he starts this elaborate plot to take over the entire school by replacing the dean with a fake Moby from a service that provides people who look like actors. So he gets a fake Moby to impersonate the dean.
Like Moby the musician.
Well, yes, Moby the musician.
Yeah. And they call him the doppeldinger.
Yeah, he's the doppeldinger, or the Dino Changer. And he also makes a lot of puns with Chang. And so anyway, in the third season, he takes over the school, uses his fake Moby dean as a puppet, and runs the school and almost blows it up with fireworks when he is fortunately stopped by the study group. Last that was heard of Ben Chang, he was hiding in the ventilation system of City College.
Very interesting. Thank you very much for
6
that
seasons in a movie.
very elaborate history of Ben Chang from the TV show Community, everybody.
Yes.
Community. If you haven't watched it, you should, like me.
Yeah, you should watch it.
Yeah.
All right. Another Benjamin we're talking about tonight. One of my personal favorite Benjamins deserves a whole segment to himself. Ladies and gentlemen, Commander of Deep Space Nine, Captain Benjamin Sisko! Yeah!
Yes.
He wears the red in Star Trek, but he doesn't die. That means he's important.
True story.
Justin, you're a big
But
fan of Star
why?
Trek
Yeah.
DS9. Tell me about Benjamin Sisko, portrayed by Avery Brooks.
Well, he's a black guy. His first black captain in Star Trek, so that was a big thing. For
Aside
everybody.
from the Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
But in a series,
Yeah.
yes.
In a-
well,
yeah,
yes, yes.
yeah,
Main,
in a series.
There you go.
He was born in
Um,
New Orleans.
Breaking
born in New Orleans.
racial barriers, right? Yes, born in New Orleans in 2332.
He likes he cooks a lot, which I thought was really cool. That's why he's my favorite captain.
Real
Because he has
food.
so many hobbies.
He likes to cook real food.
Real food.
And baseball. He loves baseball.
Loves baseball.
Jumpin and Jivin James, why does he like to cook so much?
Because he's raised in New Orleans by his father, a chef.
Who had a restaurant called Sisko's Creole Kitchen, I
Yep.
believe. Sisko's for short. What else justified, Justin?
Well, before his assignment on Deep Space Nine, he worked at the Utopia Planitia shipyards, where he basically designed ships and stuff like that.
Really knows how they work.
Yeah, and when they moved, his son Jake was really upset because he's moving away from Earth, off to the farthest reaches.
That's right. His son, Jake,
Mm-hmm.
he married Jennifer.
Correct.
And that's why he was really sad a lot in the
Absolutely.
first season.
He served on the USS Saratoga during the Battle of Wolf 359.
Correct.
Justified Justin, who is Smile or Else's resident Star Trek Deep Space Nine historian. What can you tell me about the Battle of Wolf 359 and the significance to Benjamin Sisko's life?
Well, the Battle of Wolf 359 is where Locutus of Borg, which was when Patrick Stewart's character, Captain Picard, was assimilated by the Borg, and they used his knowledge to send the Borg to Earth, to assimilate Earth, and thankfully it was stopped.
That was the two-part episode that went between, I think it was seasons 3 and 4, maybe 4 and 5, but I think it was 3 and 4 of Next Generation, Best of Both Worlds.
Correct.
Television classic history right there,
Right.
actually.
Classic.
Classic. Yeah.
But yeah, he Locutus. It seemed when the series Deep Space Nine started, Sisko looked at Picard as the person that killed his wife
Because she
his
died
wife-
in that battle.
Right, she was on the Saratoga with him, and in the first 5 minutes of the episode, you see his wife killed in their quarters on the ship as it's being destroyed.
And for the first couple seasons, that was the main driving point behind the character of Sisko.
Right.
They finally kind of let that go when there was a deeper
Because
purpose.
he's not experiencing time linearly.
That is true, right?
Because
Spoiler
they kept
alert.
asking him, why is he always there?
Can you tell me anything about the mystical history of Benjamin Sisko? Jumpin and Jivin James? I mean, hold on.
Yeah, fuck off, dude.
Hold on. Can you tell me anything about the mystical side of Benjamin Sisko, Jackass James?
Yeah, his mother was, I think, host to a Bajoran spirit from the
Yeah, the spirit of a Bajoran prophet.
Is it? Yeah.
Yes, one of the prophets.
from the actual
alien spirit.
wormhole
all
aliens.
important portal.
Yep, the wormhole. Yeah, and
And his mother died shortly after birth because of the Bajoran prophet that was inside of her.
yeah, lots of stuff. You know, a lot of people say that he's the one leading actor who was not a captain, but in fact, he was promoted to captain on Stardate 48959. And the season 3 episode, The Adversary.
Did you seriously knew the date?
Well, we all love DS9 here, don't we, guys? Come on, right?
Yeah.
Benjamin Sisko's great.
You know why Sisko is not important to me? Because he wasn't in a fucking movie. Now, if Sisko was in a movie,
They should have made a
I watched the
DS9
movies.
movie.
I think
There
they
I
did.
watched the
was one
Star
in the
Trek
works, I
movies.
believe,
I
but
don't
they
watch
had
the
a bad
TV
Star
shows.
I'll
Trek
tell you
movie.
this: out of all the Star Trek television shows,
throw my
it is
mic
the
down if I
most
could.
adult out of all of them.
I believe.
Yeah, I remember
I
I
agree.
Put it in a movie, I might watch it.
Well, I think there was going to be a movie, but then they made Nemesis.
Yes.
Kind of killed everything.
Let's not go there.
All right, Justify Justin. What else do you like about Benjamin Sisko? How does he compare to the other leads in Star Trek, like Kirk and Picard and Janeway and Archer?
Well, he was the reason he liked baseball so much is because there are so many possible outcomes, and he looks at the big picture. And actually, during my favorite period of the Star Trek canon, the Dominion Wars,
Oh yes.
they picked him. Starfleet picked him to be basically the strategic head of operations for that whole business, and he planned every single skirmish. The whole thing was all him. So I don't know. None of the other captains had as big of a range, I guess, as he did. They were all on their ships doing everything.
Like James said, it's the arc of the character, a grand arc
Yeah.
of that character. I agree with you guys completely. I think, especially after he got his ground by season 3,
As soon as he
especially
shaved his
when he
head,
shaved his head and grew the goatee,
Yeah.
he gets so badass. And once they were able to let him let go of that, the only defining thing about the character was that his wife had died. When they let that go, when they were able to really move on with that character, I really, really like it. I think he's great. And Avery Brooks, fantastic delivery on every line, right?
Yeah,
he says
he-
every syllable, everything perfectly. All right, moving on. Well, it's been a minute, everybody, so it's time for a Been a Minute. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. Been a minute. Yeah. And now, ladies and gentlemen, a very culinary tribute from Maniacal Mike about eggs. Benedict.
so is Mike. Benedict.
Thank you,
Actually,
Jackass
a good
James.
pun, but it just takes a while to sink in.
Benedict.
Okay, so Eggs Benedict. Nobody really knows when they were created. There's 3 different stories. So I guess if there's a timeline that I had to put it in, I'd say between 1894 to about 1901.
Is it true that the eggs Benedict can only be made from the eggs of traitorous chickens?
No, any chicken will do.
I
But
thought all chickens were traitorous.
They are. They're traitors to the nation.
well, I was gonna say there's 17 different versions, so I'm sure you can come up with some way. So, it's an English muffin, originally made with toast, later switched to an English muffin.
Because he's
Poached-
a traitor.
Yeah. Poached egg. Well, first ham, then poached egg, covered in hollandaise sauce, usually topped with onions or peppers.
What is hollandaise sauce?
It's
It is
actually butter and egg yolk sauce. It's just the yolks. It's like that bright yellow color.
Interesting.
And it has a little bit of lemon juice as well, which makes the two blend together. It emulsifies the
Well,
melted butter and the egg yolk.
A lot of times, it's just 2 sticks of butter and throw 2 sticks of butter into a blender, crack an egg, squeeze a little bit of lemon juice and water. You know,
you
hit
could
puree.
probably buy it already pre-made too.
You've got to add water
Okay.
or milk. Depends
Interesting.
on the way you want it.
So how popular is Eggs Benedict?
Very popular.
It's awesome, man. Get the perfect egg.
And like I said, there was 17 different varieties. You know, that's with you can substitute the ham with bacon, corned beef, crab. You can do the egg poached, fried. You know,
So basically just egg and a pork product on an English muffin.
yeah, covered in sauce.
Huh. Very interesting. Eggs Benedict.
And the thing is it? I think it's what, like 30 seconds to toast the muffin, about 3 minutes to cook the egg, probably about 3 minutes to do the sauce, maybe less.
Not
so
really.
Exactly. All right.
It's quick and easy. What?
It could take about 20 minutes to make that sauce, man.
Dude, what part of egg, butter, water, lemon put into a blender? and just warm and then mix. That's a
It doesn't
shortcut,
work that
dude.
way.
You must be fighting back or something. You know, that's the Benedict side coming out.
Yeah, I mean, there's quick ways to make the sauce and long ways to make the sauce.
Well, there's quick ways and then there's the right way.
Well, what is the right way to make the sauce?
Well, actually, what you do is you blend your egg yolks and your lemon juice together with a whisk.
Correct.
Then you drop by drop mix in the melted butter until you get a nice glossy sauce
But, yeah,
by hand with a
It's
whisk.
gotta be a glossy sauce.
right. But
Glossy,
that kind of takes too long. But if you want to do this real quick, I guess you go buy the instant
wanna do
shit.
If you want to do it
Right,
real
yeah.
quick, why not just make a fried egg?
Yeah,
We're
man.
gonna
Put
dig
it on
Precisely.
some toast.
Yeah, put
Friday
two
takes
pieces
about-
of red, throw some bacon
Friday
on top
takes
of
about
it.
3 minutes to cook also. So.
All right, that brings us to the next break, everybody. But before we go, the thought of the day. Today's thought of the day comes from super 80s pop star Pat Benatar. Get it? Pat
Love is
Benatar. Here it is, everybody. Most chickens.
Hell is for children.
Here we go. Most chick singers say, "If you hurt me, I'll die." I say, "If you hurt me, I'll kick your ass." We'll be right back here in Huntsville Attic with Rockin' Robbie, all about the Benjamins Part 2. everybody. Welcome back to Rockin' with Rockin Robbie. I am your host, Rockin Robbie. Thanks for joining us here in HuntsvilleAttic. With me, here lately, as usual, Bodacious Brooks.
Yeah!
Woo! He's it. He is Bodacious.
That's true.
Booyakasha.
Something like that.
Justify Justice.
Special guest.
Hello.
Justify. Yeah. Maniacal Mike, who is crazy.
What's up, bitches?
And Jackass James.
Thanks, guys. Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Where it's talking about everything
Did we
Benjamin.
hurt his feelings?
It's all about the Benjamins Part 2, backed by popular demand. All right, well, it's been a few, but it's been a minute, everybody, so...
Yeah.
All right.
Woo!
And now it is Sir Ben Kingsley by Justified. Justice.
That's right. You will refer to him as Sir Ben Kingsley. There was actually a big to-do about that when he got that title first. He insisted that people refer to him as Sir Ben Kingsley, and the BBC actually gave him a lot of grief for that because apparently he was kind of high and mighty about it.
Well, if you were knighted, wouldn't you be? I would.
I
I'd be
would.
like, by the way, that's Sir Rockin Robbie.
Yeah, exactly. He's also a commander in the Order of the British Empire. He was named that in 2000.
Which means he gets free biscuits.
Yeah,
I've heard.
yeah. This guy has had.
I don't know.
such
Do
a-
British people like biscuits? I don't know.
I'm sure called as cookies.
Yeah,
Who wouldn't?
because they
Scones.
refer to as most cookies as being biscuits.
Scones.
Jammy Dodgers.
I just-
Who wants a Jammy
I know
Dodger?
British children like Turkish delight like no other. Go on. Justify justice.
Well, Kingsley's had a long career, and he's been winning awards for a long time. 1982, he won the Academy Award for Best Actor for Gandhi.
Brilliant film.
Brilliant movie.
Gandhi.
I just watched that. It was fantastic. In 1984, he won a Grammy for Best Spoken Word Performance on a non-musical recording when he read the words of Gandhi on an audiobook.
Interesting.
That was-
Really?
that was
So he won
very
an
interesting.
Oscar and a Grammy
Yeah,
for his performance, basically, for his involvement in Gandhi.
right. And I always thought that was weird that he played Gandhi because, he's English, but his dad is actually full-on Indian Muslim.
Interesting. He's played a variety of roles, dude.
Right,
All ethnicities. Absolutely.
right.
And India is a weird country. I didn't know if you knew that because every little section has their own language. So English is the preferred language of everybody. Very interesting.
The English Empire
Plus the English
just
used to-
decided
yeah, the British
that
Empire
all that
used to
area
rule
was
that.
India.
Yeah, so
Right.
Got the
that's basically how
Bangladeshi,
India happened.
Kashmiri.
Well,
Yeah.
it didn't happen.
Have you seen Gandhi? Gandhi's a brilliant. My favorite Ben Kingsley movie.
My favorite Ben Kingsley movie has got to be Shutter Island.
Ooh, Martin Scorsese.
I love that movie.
Do you?
Yeah, because he's basically just screwing with Leonardo DiCaprio the entire movie. And that ending...
It's based on the Magus.
Was it?
I think so. I think I heard something that there was a book called The Magus that was written like.
Well, Shutter Island is a book
that.
too. I know that.
Yeah.
It's
I don't
about
know.
some
But it's
old
based on-
guy who's basically conning this younger guy by like supposed magic and illusions and stuff like that.
Interesting.
Well, Shutter Island, like the whole time you think Leonardo DiCaprio is supposed to be there. And this is spoilers, by the way. So if you haven't seen Shutter Island,
Spoiler alert.
go ahead and skip forward a minute and a half or so. The whole time you think that Leonardo DiCaprio is, was he a marshal? U.S.
Yeah,
Marshal?
I think it's the marshal.
Or FBI, something like that.
FBI marshal, some kind of agent, some kind of official.
He was supposed to be investigating the disappearance of one of the residents, or one of the patients, rather, of this hospital that's on an island, a mental asylum. And it goes through the whole movie, and it turns out, again, spoiler alert, it turns out that he's actually the patient. Or so you think. They really leave it open-ended in that movie, and that's why I like it so much, just because you have to think so much about it.
I like that movie a lot.
Yeah.
Ben Kingsley is an amazing actor. I'm very glad you picked him for your Benjamin presentation.
Oh,
Thank
God.
you.
He's also in Iron Man 3 that's coming out, and he
Absolutely.
has...
We
I
cannot
cannot wait.
We cannot not talk about that.
Yeah.
Right?
Apparently, Marvel Studios has given more praise to Sir Ben Kingsley for his portrayal of the Mandarin than any other actor that has portrayed a Marvel character in the studio's history. So I am so
More than
excited to watch
Toby?
this. More
We
than
are
Toby?
just 2 months away from Iron Man 3, gentlemen.
What about Ben Affleck as Daredevil? That was an awesome performance.
Yeah, come on, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Of course.
Sarcasm.
Kingsley
That's what
is
that
All right,
was.
let's get
better
off topic real quick. What is the best performance in a Marvel Studios movie? So X-Men doesn't count, Fantastic Four doesn't count, only like Iron Man, Avengers, Thor, Cap. Best performance? Robert
Thor.
Downey Jr.,
You think
Yeah.
so?
Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. Perfect.
Jr. is Tony Stark.
Absolutely
It is
amazing.
a good one.
That's what I think.
Chris Hemsworth, man.
Chris Hemsworth's Thor, but I really like Loki. Tom
Loki's good.
Hiddleston,
Yeah,
right?
he's good.
Yeah, Loki.
But I just think that someone to be able to take that character and deliver those lines where it didn't sound
yeah,
really
that was a
hokey
great performance.
is just awesome.
Chris Evans is a great performance as Cap.
Yeah.
You know, Scarlett
Oh, man,
Johansson is Black Widow.
Ruffalo's Hulk, man.
Mark Ruffalo's
my
Hulk.
God.
You got to talk about
Yeah.
that.
That.
His banner and
I
his
did
Hulk,
not
right?
see that
Fantastic.
coming.
He plays a better Hulk than Ang Lee. Who would have thunk it?
Yeah, totally.
But y'all are forgetting the big and most important one.
Samuel L.
Sam
Jackson.
Yeah, Fury.
Well, we'll save that for All About the Jacksons. Everybody, I want to thank you for being with us here in HuntsvilleAttic for All About the Benjamins Part 2. If you tell us you want more, maybe you'll get another All About the Benjamins. I mean, I don't know, guys in HuntsvilleAttic here. What do you think?
Trace.
What do you think? Oh.
It's possible. It's possible.
In closing, be sure to join us next week here in HuntsvilleAttic for the Smile or Else show. Mike, we'll be talking about
High school movies.
high school movies we watched in high school, or
No, it's everything high school movie wise. It's your top 5. This goes from anything from High School Musical, the one that you love,
Rock and Roll High School.
Rock and Roll High School, American Graffiti, to the whole
10 Things I Hate
Dazed
About
and
You.
Confused.
Dazed and Confused,
Bad
Breakfast
Kids Go to Hell.
Club.
10 Things I Hate About You. Never Been Kissed.
Have you seen the trailer for Bad Kids Go to Hell?
No.
You should watch that.
American
it looks
Pie.
really interesting.
American
It's
Pie,
a high school
yeah.
Really?
movie. Yeah.
American Pie, but not the sequels.
Yeah, no, not the sequels.
And be sure to join us a week after that, 2 weeks from today, on here, Rockin' with Rockin Robbie. It's all Greek to me. That's the name of that episode. That's right, everything Greek. It's all Greek to me. Everybody here in the
Olive
attic
oil.
now will be here then. So,
Yes.
olive oil. Was she Greek? Did
I think we're just
is
gonna stay
Popeye
here.
into the Greek? Is she? Hey now. I want to thank everybody for joining us here on All About the Benjamins Part 2. I want to thank you for giving us at least what we consider in our heads a successful show so that we could do a sequel to an episode that we had already done. With me, as always, is Maniacal Mike.
I challenge Jackass James to an Eggs Benedict cooking contest.
Oh, Lord.
And with me also is Jackass James.
Just bring it.
All right, the
'Cause I'm
challenge
coming
has
for
been
you,
met.
Mike. I'm coming for you.
Let's get ready to rumble.
I also want to really thank Bodacious Brooks.
Nice reference.
Yeah, man.
All right, and final thoughts. Justified Justin.
Final thoughts. Don't put Twinkies on your pizza.
But it sounds like it would be a good idea.
Does nobody gets that reference? You seen Heavyweights?
I haven't seen
Oh, with the fat kid
Yeah.
from Sandlot.
And
Wait,
Kenan
yeah,
says
I
that.
have
They were
seen
all
The fat kid
I
from
have
Mighty
seen
Ducks as
Heavyweights.
well.
Right, yeah. And
Actually, I
Kenan
think it
says
was
that.
all of the fat kids.
All the fat kids from all those movies in the
Yes.
90s, right? We should do an episode of Rockin' Robbie about the fat kids that played the fat kids, right? The fat
Totally,
kids.
dude.
Thanks
get
for
shot.
rocking with us, everybody.